When I come across to my teams, you'll see that we've got some teams down the bottom here. And when you go to the left-hand side of your teams, there's a little arrow that's kind of grayed out, but not too bad. And in that grayed out bit, you can hit the little arrow and it will expand your team out so it takes up a bit more space. Or you can shrink it down so it takes less space. So you can see with mine, I just have mine shrunken down because I just want a bit more space on my desktop, just organizing what I do. You'll also see that we've numbered our channels a certain way, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a tick, about how to actually manage the way in which you have your channels running. And then down the bottom, you'll see I've got a thing that says hidden channels. Now, this is because there might be some channels in your teams that you build that you don't need to pay attention to a great deal. So for me, I've got 7 hidden channels. If I hit the arrow here, they'll expand, and these are the channels that are hidden. At any time, I can come across and go show, and then that will then open up that channel for me. I can hide a channel. So let's pretend I want to hide this partner update channel. I can click on the 3 dots. The 3 dots bring up a submenu. That submenu I can come to and just go hide, and then it will then hide it off of my view and pull it out of my view, so I don't need to pay attention to it. It takes a couple of seconds to refresh through. So it just means that my working space for me is a bit clearer. The other thing I can do, which is really quite cool, is I can pin a channel up to the top of my page. So you'll see at the top of my page, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 channels that I've got posted up there. And they're ones that I actually spend quite a bit of time jumping into and looking at. So you can pin channels to the top of your page. So they're the ones that are sitting there all the time. It's like pinning a favorite. I can also do that with chats, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But in terms of the way in which I set up my channels, I can manage them by pinning them up here. The great thing about this is they are not based on alphabetical order. I can move them around depending on what I need to do. So you'll see that I've got my Google one at the top, and then I've got these general ones down the bottom here. We have, in our company, we've set up 2 teams, and our thought process behind that is this team is for our permanent employees, and this is all the gear that we all need to see. And then this other ones here is for our contractors that we bring in to help us out at multiple times. And this is stuff that they need to see. Now, they don't need to see the gear in here because this is kind of our management stuff, but all the stuff in here, we need to be overall over and be able to manage together. So all these things in here are seen by us as a team for UTV, plus all our external trainers. So in your school, you'll think a little bit about how you build your teams and the thought process behind that. Because in terms of building your teams, you need to think it out a bit so you don't end up with just so many teams that you go nutso. And then when you do have your teams that you want to be able to manage your channels as well. So that's kind of the way in which we do it.